press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, so our discussion is with respect to biomolecules. This will be part 6 of our discussion. So let me revive all the things that we learned with respect to our carbohydrates so far. Main things, anomeric, keep in mind. We talked about anomeric carbon. Now we know that is in glucose, which is actually alpha D plus glucopyranose, alpha D plus glucopyranose. Anomeric carbon is carbon 1 is anomeric carbon. If it opens out, we have reduction properties. Properties come into play. Like we talked about Tollin's tests, that is silver mirror test. We talked about Bandic's and Fehling solutions. Good. But the same carbon, which is anomeric carbon in fructose, is carbon 2. Which one? Carbon 2. We talked about how different reactions will come into play from anomeric carbons. If there is difference in any carbon other than anomeric carbon, which is carbon 1 in case of glucose and carbon 2 in case of fructose, we call such isomers as epimers. Like I mentioned, glucose, mannose, galactose, they are what? Epimers. Right or not? And we talked about alpha and beta glucose and alpha and beta fructose. Both of these are anomers. And this is anomeric with respect to carbon 2, this is anomeric with respect to carbon 1. When the linkages, which we called as glycostic linkages will occur, if these anomeric carbons are not able to free up, like in glycosides, like in anti-acetate derivatives, in cyclic links, like if this particular anomeric carbon, that's carbon 1 and carbon 2, is not blocked down, it will show reaction. If it is blocked down, reaction will not come into play. That is, we don't have the presence of hemiacetal groups. One more important thing that we want to talk. Once a disaccharide is made, we said there are different disaccharides that we have. See, all the monosaccharides that we talked about are what? Reducing sugars. Simple test is Cu plus is converted to Cu2O. This is one of the basic Benedict solution tests for the sugar presence in the urine as well. Urine examination that is done. Now children, when the disaccharide is made, the disaccharides that I talked about children were maltose, made up of alpha D plus glucose units. And what are the linkages? Alpha 1, alpha 4 links are there. That means alpha 1 and actually, see, most of the times I might have used alpha 1, 4. Keep it in mind, when I am saying alpha 1, alpha 4 link, I am talking about both the glucose units are in their alpha form. But link is from alpha position, so we usually call it as alpha 1, 4 link. Because we know that in case of maltose, the glycostic linkage will be like this. Yes. This is which one? Alpha or beta? This is alpha. Again, This is alpha. So you got OH group downwards here, 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 here again OH group is downwards. You know the basic thing itself. So this anomeric carbon 1 is bound, carbon is here free, so it can show reduction properties. So maltose is a reducing sugar. Where the link is C, that is alpha 1, actually alpha, carbon 1 and carbon 4 links are there. So fourth carbon, here you cannot talk about alpha and beta. Alpha and beta are discussed with respect to anomeric carbon. That is carbon number 1 itself. Clear or not? Then we talked about lactose. Yes, and one more important thing that we talked about the digestion products as well are, suppose when glucose is acted upon by zymase, it is converted to alcohol, C2H5OH, plus you are getting carbon dioxide when it's acted upon by zymase. When you have this glucose, or in other words, when you have a polysaccharide in the form of starch, when it is acted upon by diastase, we will have different products coming to play. You know the basic products that are obtained on the digestion of polysaccharides like starch and glycogen. The basic unit that you are always getting will be glucose. Alpha D plus glucose will be getting there. Yes? So here, when you look on lactose, the basic appearance here we have okay. So when you look on lactose, what it's made up of? It's made up of beta D galactose plus beta D glucose. Again, this lactose is reducing, and we have known there are beta linkages. I'm just revising the concept that we learned so far. We have beta linkages. Beta link between what? Beta at what position? First position. It is linked to the fourth carbon of one more beta glucose. So both are in their beta conformation. So we got beta 1,4 link present, beta linkages, and the enzyme which is present and which will be able to break this lactose into these two components will be emulsion. Yes? Am I clear or not? Right. So this is reducing or non-reducing. This is again a reducing sugar. Because of the free, which carbon? Anomeric carbon. Linkage can be understood very easily. Link is a crooked link here. And you got OH here, which is free. This anomeric carbon, because it is free, although it's in beta conformation, but it is free, so it will be able to show the reducing properties. Here, this particular carbon is bound, so reaction will not come into play from this, but it will come from this region. So muta-rotation possibility is there, because there is free anomeric carbon possible, right? That's for which one? Lactose. Maltose, it's also reducing. That will also show links is with what? Alpha 1,4 link is there existing. When it breaks, what does it give you? 2 alpha D plus glucose units. Clear or not? Then one more discussion that I did was for sucrose. I get it fact clear. When there is anaerobic respiration happening with the glucose, we are getting alcohol. So the fermentation process do come into play. Even the enzyme zymase will be able to do that process itself, right? Then you have sucrose. What is it made up of? It is made up of alpha D plus glucopyranose and beta D minus fructofuranose. We know because it's the naturally occurring ketone, that is fructose is in which form? Beta, and it is levorotatory. We know it very well. Fructose is levorotatory with the optical rotation of minus 92 degrees and glucose is 52.5 degrees respectively. We have discussed it out clearly yesterday. Now alpha D glucopyranose and fructose. Linkage is alpha 1, beta 4 link is there. There is a beta conformation of what? Which one is in beta conformation? One unit and one is in alpha. So alpha 1, beta 4 conformation. Again, at anomeric carbon, it is free. So which link is there? Sorry, not alpha 1, 4, alpha 1, 2 link. I'm sorry. Alpha 1, 2 link is there. And we know in glucose, carbon 1 is anomeric, and in fructose carbon 2 is anomeric. Both the anomeric carbons are blocked. Thus sucrose will be a non-reducing sugar. And when it breaks, what does it give you? It gives you equal amounts of what? Glucose plus fructose. And it's also called as invert sugar because optical rotations are varying. Now we have polysaccharides. There are polysaccharides discussion that we have done very profusely and very accurately. In that polysaccharide discussion, I talked about the concepts regarding starch. Then we talked about glycogen. And then we talked about cellulose. All the three are non-reducing. Yes. Structure-wise analysis has been done. All the three are non-reducing. Each of this, in case of, we'll just draw it very neatly, very cleanly. We'll just write down all these things because these are important things. That's why I'm just giving a bit of revision with respect to this. What is that, children? So, when you look on polysaccharides, analysis of this has been done. Starch can be broken up by diastase into n number of glucose units, or it can be broken down into maltose. That maltose can be acted upon by maltase and it can be converted to alpha D plus glucose units. Both of these polysaccharides like what? Starch. Then you have got glycogen. Now, in starch, the link is what? What's a link in starch? It is alpha 1,4 link. Alpha 1,4 link between in amylose. Correct or not? It is alpha 1,4. Keep it in mind. Alpha 1,4. You can write alpha 1, alpha 4. No, but that alpha part cannot be represented with respect to 4. But general representation will write alpha 1,4 because that other glucose molecule is also in its alpha conformation only. But link is not at alpha position. So it is alpha 1,4, and then there is alpha 1,6 link. 1,6 link is present at the branch, and 1,4 link is present in a linear chain. So when it is alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 link linear and branch chains, we call that as amylopectin. Same applies to glycogen as well. This is alpha 1,4 link. You have amylose, then you have alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6. You will have amylopectin. When it breaks down, it gives you what? The basic unit. When it gives n number of water molecules are added, hydration is done, it is broken off, you are always getting what? Glucose. That is alpha D plus glucopyranose, which we know very well. Now this is non-reducing. This is non-reducing, and you will get only one reducing end where alpha carbon is free, where anomeric carbon, to be precise, anomeric carbon is free at its alpha conformation, in its alpha conformation way, and you will get number of non-reducing ends depending upon number of chains. So for every chain you will get one end. Say, as I have represented yesterday for this general diagram for starch and glycogen, only difference is glycogen is more profuse branched. So what is the structural analysis we have, children, for that? We have general structure. It is okay, this is first one end, this is sixth. From sixth, a branch can originate. This is which position? First position. This is which position? Sixth position. Then it may continue. What are these links? These are alpha 1,4 links. What is this link? This is alpha 1 6 link. Then this is anomeric carbon. The next branch that has come out, it is anomeric carbon is over. Correct or not? Say from here, one more chain comes out. So for that also, that carbon number 1 will be used up now. So carbon number 1 in every chain is blocked except this. So only here carbon number 1 is free. Am I clear or not? Then you will have, this is 4 and again this will be 4. Then you will get many chains from this coming out, right? So a tree structure which will come into play will be like this. So on and so forth. So which end is this? This is 1. This one is 4. 1 is used here. 1 used here. 1 used, 1 used. Because this is 1 6 link, 1 6 link, 1 6 link, 1 6. And links here are 1 4. And remember that in our body, so multiple enzymes will work on which ends? Non-reducing ends. So these molecules have extremely large number of non-reducing ends which can be acted upon by enzymes at the same time. Now as I mentioned yesterday with respect to hydrogen bonding and other things, that is clear in our yesterday's discussion only. So no need to dig deeper into that itself here at all. Am I clear with the thought here? Excellent. Then I said when glucose undergoes anaerobic respiration like zymes will work on it, it will produce alcohol. So anaerobically alcohol is produced. Aerobic molecules that are obtained are carbon dioxide and water. Yes, complete combustion of glucose will produce what? Energy in the form of ATPs to us. Clear? Good. Then this is the difference between glycol. Both are non-reducing. All polysaccharides are non-reducing. We know that. Then when you look on cellulose, cellulose is made up of 2 components, like the components in galactose. Beta linkase are there, yes or no? That's a basic story that we know. Rest of the things, there will be only 1 reducing end and 1 non-reducing end, correct or not? But on the whole, this is also non-reducing. Which one? Cellulose is also non-reducing. And what's a link? What's a link? Beta 1 4 links will come into play. Yes, the crooked links will come into play. Yes, 1 above 1 below. Right? So this is a general revision part with respect to the discussion that we have done so far. Am I clear with the things here? Right? So why I mentioned out all the things which is reducing, which is not reducing. So drawing the diagrams at home is extremely important. Drawing the epimers and anomers of different structures is important. And knowing is it pyranose form or furanose form is available for the glucose. So no need to get into confusion itself with respect to this topic. Am I clear with the things? Right. So we have revised the discussion with respect to monosaccharides and polysaccharides with their structures and with their reducing and non-reducing properties. That's what we have done so far. Now let us see certain questions, children, with respect to some questions. With respect to these carbohydrates. Okay, so we have known the properties of these carbohydrates to perfection. So we understand the formations and different types of linkages present in the molecule. Let us see some questions. So which of the following, so question 1 is, which of the following is pentose? Which of the following is pentose? Options are ribose, sucrose, glucose, mannose. So which of the following is a pentose? Now we know what are pentoses, which contain how many carbons? 5 carbons. Sucrose we know is a disaccharide and the number of carbons in sucrose are how many? 12 carbons are there. In mannose, what is mannose? Mannose is a epimer of, it's an epimer of what? Glucose. It contains, so glucose contains how many carbons? 6. So this contains 6 carbons. Glucose as usual we know it's a hexose, it contains 6 carbons. Ribose is a pentose which is present in DNA, deoxyribose. It's present in the genetic material of RNA. So ribonucleic acid, RNA. So we have the sugar there called as ribose. We have the sugar there, ribose. So we got correct option for us as ribose. Next question, children. A ring structure of glucose, write down, ring structure of glucose is due to the formation of hemiacetal. Got it? Ring structure of glucose. So we have ring structure of glucose is made by link of dash and dash carbon. So the hemiacetal link that you are getting in the cyclization in glucose, what is the link between? Options you have, children, are C1 C4, option 2, C1 C5, option 3, C1 C6, and option 4, C1 C3. Now in this case we need to find out, in glucose when the cyclization occurs, the ring is made between which carbon? We know that in glucose we have the first aldehyde carbon, and according to Fischer projection we have the D configuration of this with respect to the farthest chiral center. That OH is present on the right side. The ring cyclization that occurs between carbon number 1, which is actually aldehyde group, right? Carbon number 1 to carbon number 5. So the link is like an ether linkage, because in a hemiacetal group we know carbon contains what? Ether on one side, it contains H on other side, it contains OH. So carbon attached to etheric linkage and O, which is the part of alcohol, we have hemiacetal group. So hemiacetal formation occurs between C1 and C5 respectively. So the correct option will be C1 and C5. And when the link is between C1 and C5, including one oxygen, what's the number of carbons? 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbons, there's a reaction happening out. So this aldehyde will be over. We have minus charge attack of this negative lone pair of electron occurs on the carbon. You will get one more stereo center on this carbon. And there on that stereo center, either OH will be on the right or it will be on left. So according to that, we have alpha and beta isomers. So children, the total members including this oxygen now, total members including the oxygen in the glucose will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including oxygen 6. And we know it matches with the structure of pyron. So we have pyranose form of glucose. So the link is between C1 and C5. Clear? Right option will be option 2. Next question. Hydrolysis of sucrose is called. So when you do the hydrolysis of sucrose, what is it called as? So question number 3. So hydrolysis of sucrose. Options are hydration or hydrolysis, second inversion, third esterification, and fourth none of these. Now during our discussions we have learned sucrose is also called as invert sugar. Right. Children, I am solving the questions which are given in your books, which have the material that has been given already to you. So from that material only I am solving these questions, different types of questions only with respect to carbohydrates, which we have already discussed. Because our usual schedule is, once we are done with the discussion, what we do after that particular subtopic discussion is over, we'll be solving some questions with respect, some practice questions will be solved with respect to that. Correct. Esterification, none of these. Sucrose, which is also called as invert sugar, and we know the reason for it being called as invert sugar, because when sucrose is broken down, when it is hydrolyzed by the addition of water, we are getting what? We get from it glucose. Technically, we are getting beta D plus glucopyranose, and we are getting fructose from it. In actual practice, when you look on sucrose, it is dextrorotatory. That means it rotates the plane of polarized light towards right. However, on hydrolysis by invertase, what does happen? This sucrose, that glycosidic link is broken down. We are getting glucose and we are getting fructose. The optical rotation, that is alpha of glucose, is plus 52.5 degrees, and alpha, this is called a specific rotation, children. Alpha of fructose is how much? Minus 92.5 degrees. Now when you see the two, this glucose will rotate it by plus 52.5 and it will rotate it by minus 92.5. Net optical rotation will be minus 40 degrees. So actually it is dextrorotatory, but after you have broken it down into its components, it gives you levorotation. So net rotation will be levorotatory. That's why this is also called as invert sugar. Because of this, the hydrolysis, when we are adding water, breaking, or technically we will say breaking of sucrose. Breaking of sucrose, not hydrolysis technically. So breaking of sucrose is not hydrolysis. It is a type of hydrolysis only, which leads to inversion. That's why the breaking of glycosidic bond in sucrose is called as inversion, because optical activity of the hydrolyzed products which have been obtained has been altered. Actual molecule was dextrorotatory, and the net optical rotation in a solution which is obtained by the equal mixture of the two will be levorotatory. Thus it's called as inversion respectively. Good. Next question, children. Right. So need to be careful in understanding all these things, right? Good. Which of the following is correct? So question number 4. Which of the following is correct? First one, monosaccharides are also called sugars. Monosaccharides are also called sugars. This is correct. Polysaccharides are non-sugars, but they don't give the sugarish taste. Second, polysaccharides are non-sugars. That is the second option given to you. Polysaccharides are non-sugars. This is also correct. Third one is given to you, children, is maltose and lactose are reducing sugars. Maltose and lactose are reducing sugar. This is also correct. Fourth one is all of these. And we know the basic clearance here. Maltose, when it breaks, C1 will be free, the anomeric carbon in maltose. What is maltose made up of? Alpha D glucose units, 2 alpha D glucose units. One of the alpha carbon, which is anomeric carbon, will be blocked by the reaction when it is made. But the other anomeric carbon will be free, which can undergo reduction. And then lactose, as always we know, lactose also. What is lactose? Disaccharide, which is made up of beta D glucose and beta D glucose. That's also reducing. So all the three are correct. So question number 5, children. Let us see some typical questions now. when glucose and gluconic acid are oxidized, on oxidation of glucose and gluconic acid, what do we get? First one, we are getting N-hexane. Second one, we are getting saccharic acid. We get N-hexane, we get saccharic acid. We are getting gluconic acid. And fourth one, we are getting fructose. Now we have done one discussion about structure elucidation of glucose, in which we read about different tests, and on the basis of various tests we are able to formulate out molecular formula on the basis that there is carbon-carbon links are there, because when it is treated with HI you are able to get N-hexane. Now when you look on glucose, glucose is CHO, then you have CH2OH, CH2OH technically 4 times, then you have CH2OH at the denomination. When it is oxidized by a strong reducing agent, when you have a strong reducing agent, so if it is nitric acid as a strong reducing agent, then you will find out this will convert to carboxylic acid, even because when it is treated with nitric acid and you are able to get a multiple derivative of it, that is COOH also. From gluconic acid, the reaction is exactly same, because that also contains one primary hydroxyl group. If it is treated with nitric acid, both of these are giving us what? Saccharic acid, indicating that aldehyde is present when strong oxidation is brought about in HNO3. However, if you do it in terms of weak oxidizing agent like Br2, you will be able to convert this CHO into carboxylic acid. There will be no reaction happening at the primary carbon. There will be no reaction happening at the primary hydroxyl group at all, because this is our primary hydroxyl group attached to only one carbon, carbon attached to one carbon. Yes, so this is our alpha, beta, gamma, delta, eta carbon technically. Yes or no? So we'll be able to get what? Saccharic acid. So correct option will be option 2, because glucose and gluconic acid both are giving saccharic acid, because there will be double oxidation. You are getting a dicarboxylic acid by strong reducing agents, because primary OH group and the main aldehyde group both in case of glucose will be oxidized. A same reaction is shown by what? Gluconic acid. That indicated that there is one primary hydroxyl group present in glucose as well, because gluconic acid gave the same reaction with HNO3, and gluconic acid formula and structure we were already knowing while we were elucidating the structure of glucose, right? So the correct option will be saccharic acid. Next one. So we have a direct question. When spontaneous change in the specific rotation of an optically active compound is observed, what do we call it as? Spontaneous change in the specific rotation, which call that as Nuta rotation, because opening of the ring occurs and one form converts to other through an open form. That can be ketonic or aldehydic. That's why the reactions do come into play. Correct. Next one, children. Anomers of glucose, alpha form and beta form, differ in the stereochemistry at which carbon? So question 6, anomers of glucose, what are the two anomers? Alpha and beta form of glucose differ in the position of OH group along what carbon? Options are C1, C2, C3 and C4. We know alpha and beta form are anomers, right? And anomers differ only in the relative position of a specific primary functional group containing molecule, containing carbon. So anomers in glucose are with respect to C1, but when you look on anomers in fructose, it is with respect to C2 because ketonic group is present in at carbon number 2. So anomers, that's alpha and beta glucose, differ from each other at relative positions of C1 for glucose and C2 for fructose. And alpha and beta, you know, the hemiacetal formation does come into play, ring opening comes into play, and inversion of the position of OH, and it's actually on the base of the reaction from the medium that happens there, right? Very good. Next question. We have a direct question. 6-member cyclic structure of glucose is called as pyranose or furanose? It's called as pyranose structure. Good. Let's see the next question. Okay, glucose occurs in nature in which form? Pyran or furan form? More stabilizing form. We already have done this question a while earlier. Question number next. Which is not true for reducing and non-reducing sugars? Okay. Question is direct. Which is not true for reducing and non-reducing sugars? Good. Both depend on the position of linkage between two monosaccharide units. That's correct. Because like in fructose, linkage is a determinantal factor. Because when you look in fructose, you have got, question number 7, so you got C1 and C2 linked together. C1 from glucose and C2 from fructose linked together, right? As a result of that, neither it is able to open it as ketonic group nor it's able to open it as aldehyde group. As a result of that, it will be a non-reducing. However, in lactose and in case of maltose, the linkage is in such a way that the anomeric carbons get free. And once those are getting free, they can open up and show the reaction aspect. So this statement is correct. Statement is both depends on the position of linkage between two monosaccharide units. That's right. Sucrose is a non-reducing as linkage involves carbonyl functional group of both monosaccharide units. 100% correct. This is what I have shown you a while earlier. Because both the carbonyl carbon containing groups have been used up. Right? Third one. Maltose and lactose are reducing sugars as one of the carbonyl functional group in any one of the monosaccharide unit is free. Is it right or not? Between maltose and lactose. That's correct or not? In one of the two units, the carbonyl carbon is free. Oh yes, like in case of which one? Maltose, alpha carbon is free. That means anomeric carbon is free, carbon 1 is free. In case of lactose, what is free again? Beta carbon, that is C1 again is free. Yes. Now next one is maltose is a reducing sugar, while as lactose and sucrose both are non-reducing sugar. This is wrong. We have maltose. What's it? Maltose and lactose both are reducing sugars, but sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. Followed or not? So the wrong statement is the fourth statement. So this is question number 22 on your book. Right or not, children? Very good. Next question. Question is, which of the following statement is incorrect? I will repeat the statement. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Statement is sucrose is dextrorotatory. Is it right or not? Yes, a while earlier I showed you sucrose is dextrorotatory, but it is hydrolyzed products are one is dextrorotatory and one is levorotatory. More of levo-rotation is there. Because there is more of levo-rotation, the net rotation after hydrolysis will be levorotatory only. Yes, next one. Sucrose is a non-reduced, after hydrolysis of sucrose, dextrorotatory glucose and levorotatory fructose will be obtained. 100% right. Third one, levo-rotation of fructose is more than dextrorotation of glucose. Correct or not? Because after hydrolysis minus 92 and dextrorotation is only plus 52. These are very important things. Unless you have understood the discussions that I have done so far, it's extremely difficult to analyze the results otherwise, right? And fourth one is, cane sugar gives non-equimolar mixture. Wrong. It gives equimolar mixture of D plus and D because it's a disaccharide. Equal moles of glucose and fructose will be obtained from it. Am I clear? Right. So the wrong statement is which one? Fourth one. 1 mole of maltose gives 2 moles of D-glucose on hydrolysis. Both obtained units are. So we have maltose. We know maltose is made up of alpha D-glucose units. This is glycosidic linkage. Right or not? Now once hydrolysis between the two will occur, once it is hydrolyzed, addition of water is done. So when you are adding water, what does happen is, you are getting 2 glucose units, right or not? You are getting 2 glucose units here. Now, according to the question, what's asking is, after hydrolysis has been done, the 4 options are, first one, 1 mole of maltose gives 2 moles of D-glucose on hydrolysis. Good. Both obtained units are in. Both are in furanose form, pyranose form, furanose form, then you have pyranose form, then both of these, and then you have none of these. Now we know when the breaking is occurring, furan means 5-membered ring, 5-membered including oxygen, and pyran means 6-membered including oxygen. Now have a look. You are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 including oxygen. You are getting 6-membered ring. As you get 6-membered ring from the particular maltose, it's which form? Pyran form. So both of these obtained are in which form? Pyranose form only, right? You will get only one furanose form. That's for fructose only, right? That will be furanose form. But keep it in mind that fructose can also exist in pyran form. But the more stable and naturally existing one is in furan form, right? Clear. Next one, children. On hydrolysis of 1 mole of maltose, 2 moles of D-glucose are obtained. These 2 glucose units are linked together through alpha glycosidic linkage. Very simple. So when you have 2 maltose units, same question it is. This one is carbon number 1 and this is carbon number 4. So alpha linkage is between C1, C4. So it is between C1 of 1 D-glucose, D plus glucose and C4 of other. So the link is C1 and C4. Options are C2 of 1 unit and C4 of other, C1 of 1 unit and C2 of other, C1 of 1 unit and C4 of another unit, C2 of 1 unit and C3 of another unit. Correct option is C1 and C4. These are very easy questions, children. If you analyze the results, you will be able to solve those very easily. Right? Excellent. Right. So we have a question. Cellulose cannot be tested by, it's a polysaccharide. You cannot test it by. Simple. We are solving your book questions, children. Keep it in mind. Yes. Let us see the questions which have been asked in the examinations. Latest examination, these questions have been asked. Question is, AIPMT 2006, this question was asked. Yes. So they are all questions from yes. Question number 10. It's PMT 2010. This question was asked. So have a look on these questions, children. At the end, even general paper we are solving towards the end, a full-fledged paper for all the chapter. But every subtopic should be followed by some exercise question. That's important so that all the things are very clear in the heads. Because as I mentioned out many a times in the classes, these are integrated classes. So you need to understand the theoretical perspective and understand the application perspective of the things. Actually, we have done carbohydrates so far, like we have done coordination chemistry previously. Maybe the writing format, when I am writing down on the board, it's a bit smaller. I'm getting regular requests to increase the size, but you need to focus on the content. That's important. And anyway, I'll try to just modulate the writing. And all of you know my writing system is like that only. Anyway, so we'll change it out. Question is, children, which of the following does not exhibit the phenomena of mutual rotation? Question next. Which of the following does not exhibit muta rotation? So for muta rotation to come into play, you know the phenomena, what should happen. So we'll write down options first. Options are minus fructose, plus sucrose, third, plus lactose, plus maltose, plus lactose, plus maltose. Hope I am writing a bigger size now. Now for muta rotation to come into play, it's important a new stereocenter should be developed, and that can only be developed when ring opening occurs. So when ring opening occurs, reduction processes will come into play. However, when you look in fructose, children, you will find out the carbonyl carbon which was present at C1 of glucose and C2 of fructose. Both are linked with each other. As they are linked to each other, opening of the ring is not possible. Thus the phenomena of mutual rotation, because mutual rotation is spontaneous change in the optical activity, and we know that only comes into play when the ring opens out and changes the conformation with respect to that hemiacetal stereocenter. Either alpha or beta conformation comes into play. In this case, it's not possible because ring opening cannot occur, right? They are blocked down by strong bonds. So glycosidic linkage, heavier groups are there around. Ring opening, because carbonyl carbon is not free to show the reaction itself. Opening cannot occur. So this fructose will not be able to exhibit the phenomena of mutual rotation. Sorry, not fructose, sucrose. Not fructose. Fructose will definitely show because ring opening can easily occur. A disaccharide sucrose, because link is between C1 and C2. Fructose, it's a monosaccharide. It will definitely open up and it can show mutual rotation phenomena. Lactose, can it show or not? It's galactose and glucose. It can also open out because one anomeric carbon is free. In maltose also anomeric carbon is free. We have done in the previous questions as well. So the correct option will be plus sucrose. It will not exhibit the phenomena of mutual rotation. Asked in PMT 2010. Yes, next question, children. PMT mains 2010 again. Fructose reduces Tolley's reagent due to fructose reduces Tolley's reagent due to. Now we know Tolley's reaction should not come into play with the fructose itself because fructose has got carbonyl carbon in the form of ketone. We know it well. However, If fructose is able to do so, it's able to react with Tollin's reagent, to be precise, to get the silver mirror test positive and to reduce Ag plus to Ag respectively. Why does it happen? Options that are mentioned, children, are because of primary alcoholic group, no. Secondary alcoholic group. Secondary alcoholic group. Let me see how many of you know it. Third one, enolization of fructose followed by conversion to aldehyde by base. Enolization of fructose, which is followed by conversion to aldehyde in basic medium. And we know actually it is ammoniacal silver, which is made by the combination of the complex of silver with ammonia. Actually, ammonia will be in the form of NH3 plus OH. It will be NH4OH, ammonia in the basic medium, right? So you have the basic medium, and in basic medium we know when you have enol, it can be converted to what? Aldehyde. Correct or not? Basic isomerization process will happen in the basic medium. So you have got, first of all, we have learnt it in the different epimers of glucose that enolization process can come into play. Double bond structure may come into play, right? When the attack of oxygen occurs, that stereocenters may alter, double bond can be generated between different regions. So alcohol and double bond group can come into play between carbon-carbon double bond attached to OH group will be there. So you got enolization is happening. Once enolization is happening, in presence of base, it can be converted to aldehyde. And Tollin's test is a positive test for which one? Aldehyde. So residue of aldehyde, because of isomerization process, its silver is reduced. Is the actual region for fructose acting as a reducing agent. Fourth one is asymmetric carbon. Now asymmetric carbon leads to optical activity, right? Or it can lead to the configuration systems like which one? R and S system of nomenclature. You should know it. In carbohydrates also we can name stereocenters on the basis of R and S system of nomenclature, right? Rectus and sinister system. 4, because of asymmetric carbon is not correct. So the correct answer will be enolization of fructose followed by the conversion to aldehyde in presence of base. Clear? So the correct option will be option 3rd. Alright, next question, children. Question is, ordination compounds have great importance in biological systems. In this context, which of the following statements is incorrect? Which of the following statement is incorrect? Chlorophylls are green pigments in plants and contain calcium. Yes. Hemoglobin is a red pigment of blood and contains iron. That's correct. Cyanocobalamin is B12 and contains cobalt. Yes. And carboxypeptidase A is an enzyme and contains zinc. Indeed correct. So which is wrong option? All of you will be knowing option A, because chlorophyll does not contain calcium, it contains magnesium as it is component. Clear, children? Very good. Let us see the next question. Quite easy questions are given here. Yes, AIEEE question 2009. The two functional groups present in typical carbohydrate. Typical carbohydrate functional groups. 1. COOH, OH. Second, C double bond OH, OH. Third, RC double bond OR, OH. And fourth, C double bond O and OH. What is the typical functional group that is present in a carbohydrate, basic carbohydrate? What is the typical functional group that we have? Now we know we have aldehyde and alcohol also there. We do not have carboxylic acid. We have ketone and OH also there. And carbonyl carbon and OH. So we cannot have aldehyde and ketone present in a function as a functional group present at the same time in particular carbohydrate, right? But both of this aldehyde contains carbonyl carbon as well as ketone contains carbonyl carbon. So this carbonyl carbon, wherein most of the reactions are shown by these groups, are present as the primary functional groups in a typical carbohydrate. So definitely carbonyl carbon is there, and with carbonyl carbon, because carbonyl carbon will be the part of aldehyde as well as ketone, and with carbonyl carbon we have one more side-on functional group which is a secondary functional group in the form of alcohol, that is OH. So the correct option will be C, double bond O and OH. So the right answer will be carbonyl carbon and OH for this, right or not? So these are some of the questions. You can try these questions, children, at home. Quite easy questions, all the discussions that have been done. So from the book, this finishes most of the questions of carbohydrates for you, right? Correct. The material that has been already supplied to you, children. Even during coordination chemistry, we solved many questions from the same book that is given to you, right? Oh, clear or not? Excellent, very good book. Good questions and good quality questions are existing. In coordination, we discuss in atomic structure, for which I done for the first year topics. It has also been done. So our next discussion that will start, children, will be the next biomolecule, that is amino acids. Am I clear with the thought here? Yes, thank you.